Hey everybody, Ryan here with Rays latest, and today we're going to be talking about the Tampa Bay Rays sweeping the series against the New York Yankees this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. It was a fantastic showing at the Trop. I believe it was six straight 20,000 plus people at Tropicana Field. Granted, the Yankees are in town, Cubs opening series. It's going to be a lot of people there, especially when the Yankees are in town. There's a lot of the retired northern community that are big Yankees fans that live in the area, and especially with the Yankees spring training complex being where we literally played at last season, there's obviously a lot of kind of Yankee fans in the area. So there's always going to be a big turnout when the Yankees come to town. And I feel like that's pretty much anywhere in baseball when the Yankees or the Dodgers are in town, there's going to be a good amount of people there. But the Trop was popping this weekend, and the Rays took full advantage of that, sweeping the series against the Yankees. It's three close games. Friday's game was 5-3. Yesterday's game or Saturday's game was 5-4, and today's game, Sunday's game, was also 5-4 as well. Had to walk off, had to do a walk off on Saturday. But that's just the way that the Rays were able to manufacture those runs in the 10th inning was all on Chandler Simpson and the ability to just provide chaos on the field. He's pinch hit in the game. Max Fried was obviously starting yesterday, so Cash saw that as an opportunity to get DeLuca at bats there and not having that left on left with Simpson. But Simpson ended up coming in later in the game, gets on base twice, or he pinch runs for Fortes, scores that run, comes up in the 10th inning, gets on base, immediately steals second base. Now you have the winning run on second base with no outs. And then just the ability from there to just create the runs with small ball and just the ability to put the ball in play. Yandy was intentionally walked to get the bases loaded. Fiducia ended up striking out there, and then Aranda kind of just beat a ball directly into the ground at Jazz Chisholm. And Chisholm, I thought, should have just fielded the ball, tagged him, and then threw the ball to first base. But he kind of bobbled the ball a little bit, and that kind of took away his ability to make that double play. And he kind of just rushed to throw over to first base just to be able to get that run there, runner and Diaz there, kind of in that situation that he needs to get to second base before a tag's applied there. But I believe, honestly, I think the run was scored before then anyway, and I think everybody else knows that. But that's what Jazz kind of came out and said in his post-game interview. He said, "I didn't really understand the rule or didn't know if that was the rule or that was the case, but that is the rule of the case. If you throw behind the runner and it's a tag play, therefore the force doesn't apply anymore, and the as long as the runner crosses home plate, that run counts." So the thought process there from him, I guess, thinking on the fly was all right, but he did end up messing it up, and Aranda ended up walking off there on Saturday. But in Friday's game, Steven Matz looked great. I mean, 5 innings, 2 hits, 2 earned. Did give up 2 walks as well, but he had 7 Ks and 88 pitches, which was great. Griffin Jacks had 2 strikeouts in his lone inning of work. Ian Seymour had a strikeout in his lone inning of work. Neither of them gave up any hits. BJ only gave up 1 hit, what happened to be a home run, so that was a hit with a homer, and he had a strikeout as well. And then Baker comes in to close it out again. 1 inning, gave up the 2 hits there, made it kind of interesting there towards the end, but didn't end up giving up any runs. So we win that game on Friday with that performance. And then Saturday, I thought Nick Martinez looked fairly well. Again too, 4 2/3, 5 hits, 1 earned. That 1 earned being a home run. 4 strikeouts, did have 3 walks though, so the pitch count in 4 2/3 was up to 87, and only 56 of those being strikes. So I'd like to see a little bit more consistency there with him around the strike zone, but I do think other than that, I thought it looked pretty well. And then Kevin Kelly came in 1/3 of an inning, got a strikeout, doing what he needs to do, spin sliders up there the whole time. Seymour came in, gave it another inning and 2/3 after him. No runs, no hits, 3 strikeouts. Griffin Jacks, a third of an inning, a strikeout and a walk. Brian Baker again comes in an inning, but this time he gives up 2 hits, 2 earned, and a walk. Kind of back-to-back days with relievers there. It does get a little interesting with just with the arm and how things are looking, especially when a team gets a back-to-back day look on a guy. And then BJ comes in third an inning, who does walk too, but doesn't give up any hits or runs. And then Cole Sulser comes in the 10th inning. There's a 1 inning, 1 hit, Did give up a run, but it was unearned. So I do think the bullpen was extremely stretched out. So that's kind of what I want to talk about a little bit is just today's game, kind of how we were able to go about it was not too good. The only three guys that we had available to pitch out of the bullpen today were the three guys who pitched today. And Rasmussen, thankfully, went 6 innings of one hit ball and struck out seven. And people were complaining a lot about that. It was only at 76 pitches. He's absolutely dealing, has only given up the one hit in 6 innings, has been just mowing down the Yankees lineup, especially with our bullpen being as stretched thin as it is. Why not roll him back out there for seven? But then again, he also has had three major elbow injuries. You don't want to mess anything with him, especially missing a start and having to come back due to him having a child. Things of that nature. I don't hate the idea of him getting taken out in the sixth inning, especially in mid-April. I think it's fine, and I think that people need to kind of calm down and relax about that. And once our bullpen's back fully healthy, once Clevenger's back, once Ucetta's back, there's going to be more options in the pen to go to in situations like this. But Sulcer today came in and only threw an inning or a third of an inning, gave up 2 hits, two earned, and a walk. 15 pitches, 7 strikes. So his strike count was below 50%. Kelly comes in again, lights out. An inning and 2/3, only give up one hit, only threw 6 balls in an inning and 2/3. And then Engler did get a little interesting there in the bottom of the top of the ninth inning. He did give up 3 hits and two earned with a strikeout. He did give up that home run to Judge in the ninth inning, and then gave up a double to Caballero there in the in the top of the ninth inning as well with 2 outs that I do think Cedric Mullins should have caught. But that's a story, story for a different day. But I do think that just the bullpen being where it was at that game, that was pretty much all we could do. And I think that they were able to manage it well. And I do think Engler giving up a two, and I think if we have people to be able to use in the pen, I don't think you even see him, for one, pitching the ninth inning, and two, I think that his string is very short in that situation. And I think that everybody else knows that as well. But just Kevin Cash being able to work around with what he has, I think he did a very good job this series. And I know a lot of people are just very disagreeing on what they believe in Kevin Cash is as a manager, but I think he did very well. And I think him having to deal with what he had to deal with, I think on Saturday you kind of just go all in with the pin to just win the series and take two or three, and him being able to get the sweep and kind of manage the way he did today. I think he did a great job, and I think people need to start realizing that a little more, is that his bullpen's not built the way it usually has been, and I think he's slowly starting to figure out how to work around the different people in that bullpen rotation, and I think that he's kind of found the guys like Brian Baker. He's kind of stepped up in in that closer role, and he's leads the team in saves, and so I think that having guys like that step up and Cash recognizing it, I think he's doing a great job at that. But one thing that that I was really questioning on was the Saturday game with obviously Max Fried was starting and Simpson not being in the lineup. I think that Chandler Simpson has earned the right to play every single day because he's currently hitting 411, which is second in all of baseball, and a 923 OPS without hitting a home run. And in Friday's game, he went 1 for 5 with two RBIs, only struck out once. Saturday's game, he came in off the bench, went 1 for 1, scored 2 runs. And then today, he looked great again. And it's like you can't not have that guy in your lineup. He went 3 for 4 today with an RBI and 2 runs scored. When he just gets on base, he just produces runs and he just causes chaos and speeds pitchers up and steals bases and makes the infielders make plays. And there's when you have a guy hitting 411, you can't just not play him because it's a left on left matchup. I don't think with him it matters. He's going to chop the ball into the ground regardless. And so I think that him having to be in the lineup every single day is a must. And I understand DeLuca splits against lefties. I understand. Chandler Simpson should never step foot out of that lineup, and he has become the best hitter on the team just from a getting on base standpoint. His on base percentage is 441. He gets on base one out of every two times. That you can't not have a guy like that in your lineup. Yandy's OBP is higher than that. Yandy's is 456, and he's hitting 362. And he went 1 for 3 today with an RBI and a walk. So guys like that should never not be in the lineup. And like I said, I understand the left on left matchups and stuff like that. I don't, with Chandler Simpson, I do not care. He should be in the lineup every single day. And I think that down the line, I think we're going to see him play every day that he can, obviously. He might have a good rest day, whatever, but I think that he should play every single day. And I don't think that matchups should matter with him in any shape or form. But you guys let me know what you guys think about the series against the Yankees this weekend, and as well as what you guys think about Simpson getting kind of that rest day on Saturday or that non-matchup day on Saturday. And then the bullpen, please give me your guys' best opinions and answers to what would help solve this bullpen problem that we have, and anything of that nature that you guys have thought of or wish that Kevin Cash and the Rays organization would do. But you guys have a good one.